Hi everyone, good morning. Thank you for joining me, Wendy Anderson, justbe.me. So it's early in the morning, it's quiet here, all the family is still in bed. So I get a chance to have a little bit of peaceful time with all of you. Thank you. So I woke up early and couldn't get back to sleep because a certain person was snoring, so I plugged in my earphones in, did a meditation, tried to do that above the noise. So in this video I just wanted to talk about finding peace, love and serenity when you have got children, dependents, people to look after, the contracts with other people, the cards, the karma coming in, you know, all of it. And you just think, amidst all this, how can I find peace, love, wellness and serenity? It's there, we just have to look for it and find it, cultivate it and create it. Really challenging sometimes, I get it. So for all those parents out there, like myself as well, listening to the most beautiful motivational people at the moment that are amazing, and they are way showers and the lights in this world, and when we look at them, many of them, they have no children. They have no kind of like other beings that they have to look after, and some of us have, and you know, we have people to look after, so sometimes that can lead us into situations where we become reactive in the situations because our emotions get the better of us. So I wanted to talk a little bit about that at the moment, being reactive in our emotions in our everyday lives, and I am one of you, I am amongst you, I am the same. So this is kind of my scenario where I was at yesterday. So I do channel, I can channel, but my guides didn't want me to channel in these videos. They didn't want my ego to step aside. They didn't want me and my personality to step aside. They wanted all that within it. And the word they gave me was purity. So I'm thinking, well, purity is this kind of like white knighted virginal thing, you know, floating about, being all peaceful and graceful. That's what purity came to mind when I was given the word purity, and they're kind of like, no. It's kind of, you're not getting the meaning of that, what we want it to mean for you in these videos. The purity is all of creation, which is all of you. Your ego was created in love. The anger was created in love, the reactions were created in love, the emotions were created in love, all of you was created in love. So why miss any of those beautiful parts out? You know, it is still you and it is still love in creation. But we are just learning to be a different way. So all is changing, and we're just learning different practices, different ways of living, different ways of being is the main thing, different ways of being. So the way we have lived before, you know, we just kind of like lived in this blissful kind of non-awareness, I suppose, but it was a life of really fake free will, fake freedom. So now we are stepping into creating a reality of real freedom, of real free will, of real choices in our lives. So now we are stepping into learning how to be creative beings for the next step of our evolvement as human beings. We are learning to create, and with creation can come karma, can come lessons, and it's learning to rise above the karma, it's learning to rise above the emotions, it's learning to get out of the head and into the heart space. It is going to take some time. It is like riding a bike. It's something new. You're going to fall off a few times. You're going to get some bumps and bruises. And that's what it's about. It's just this journey. So the purity is love in all creation. That's what my guides were trying to tell me, that all of you is still all created in love, as all of you that I'm talking to out there. Every single bit of you, every single part of you, all the reactivity, all the emotions is all still created in love. So please don't beat yourselves up about it. I've had some beautiful clients that, inwardly you can see that they are just beating themselves up so much that they don't feel worthy, not good enough. Am I getting this wrong? I'm not doing that right. I want to be this for other people. And it's kind of like, you don't have to be anything for anyone. It's just literally be your truthful, intrinsic self. And sometimes that may mean kind of like digging your heels in and being stubborn, that no, this is what I want, this is what I want to do. It may not be what society want me to do. It may not be what my parents want me to do. It may not be what my husband or my kids want me to do. But you know what? This is what I need to do. I am no longer virtual single anymore. I am rewriting those programs. I am being who I need to be now. I am vocalizing my wants, needs and creations in love. So this is where I was at in creating yesterday, which probably wasn't the path of love in my creation. But however, if you bring a broader perspective to it, my reactivity, my emotions, everything was still love. So when we have children, obviously, you've got our dependents to look after, parents to look after, other people to look after. There are going to be emotions and reactivities in some ways. So I had some learnings yesterday, because every day is a school day. I had 2 learnings yesterday. And don't beat yourselves up out there, because all of these lessons are created in love, for love, with you, from your higher self, delivered to you. And we are living life at the moment and in experiencing and learning. But we are learning all these lessons from a higher perspective. So we are going to get low vibrational lessons, and we get to choose, do we experience them in a low vibrational way, or do we experience them in a high vibrational way? Do I experience them through fear, or do I experience them through love? So the first one came through, it's kind of like, when you open your phone up, and I don't even go into my news, but I get these news feeds on it. And I think there was something about the V's on under 20s and children. And all of a sudden in the media, cases are rising in under 25s. Interesting how the target market is now under 25s. Synchronicities, perhaps. Interesting. We just think about it. We don't think about it in fear, we think about it in love. Oh well, okay. But I'm a higher vibrational being, so what? I rise above it. And also the reaction about children becoming experiments, is the emotions bubbled. I think of my beautiful children and the lives that they've got in front of them, and my emotions and anger literally kind of like bubbled, which caused me to be reactive, to say the least. So I put a post out on social media. All of a sudden my husband comes booming in. And this is the way kind of like our loved ones, our nearest and dearest, and this is kind of like where we can all be low vibrational for a certain amount of time, but don't beat yourself up about it. It's how you choose in the end to deal with it. That's what counts, and what you've learned from it. And as long as you've learned something from it, then all is love and creation in its entirety and purity. So don't beat yourselves up. So he came in and says, that post you put on love, it's a bit reckless. So kind of like ate a little bit of humble pie, had a little bit of words with my guides, and yeah, I did this out of reactivity. It didn't go through the gears, which is me all over. Doesn't go through the gears all the time. And yeah, I made the post in, but I did think about it and thought, yeah, it wasn't made in love, it was made out of fear. And I have to, from a higher perspective, know that my children are going to be okay with whatever, regardless, because I know my children are born into this life with the attributes that they need to be guided, and whatever happens is supposed to happen, and they know somewhere in their being that their energy will rise above no matter what. So that is the higher perspective. The lower perspective was me being reactional. Somebody's going to wreck my children's lives. Nobody can do that apart from my children, is the higher perspective. My children are in complete power. They are in complete control. And how we do this as human beings at the moment is the way we live our lives in our just beings. So I had a little bit of reflection time about how much I've changed over the last 10 years and definitely over the last 2 years, and looked at my life practices, and this is what this reactivity led me to go into a little bit of introspection. So if we are being reactive at the moment and you're wanting to be, this high vibrational spiritual being, give yourself a break, because maybe the lesson is just bringing you, back to the love of you, back to being introspective, back to yourself. So don't worry about it if you are being reactive. You are human, but also divine. So it led me to introspect about my daily life and my practices. And I realised that I live my life so differently to what I did before. So even down to little things like when I make a cup of tea, or I cleanse my water, I bless it. So when we bless anything, and they've been doing this for holy water for centuries, so it's nothing new. There's a science behind it. Somebody knows about it, but it's not releasing it, So I bless my water. So one way I do this is basically saying, return this water back to its creator's blueprint. You are amazing, you are divine, you are beautiful, you are pure, you are happy, joyous, creative, peaceful, serene, all those high vibrational words and intentions. And it's the intentions, really, it's not really the words, it's the intentions behind it. You place it all into the water. So when you actually drink the water, you are actually drinking the intentions as well. So this also gives you a blessing as you are drinking the thing that you are connected with. So I realised then that I am living my life with the beginning of feeling connected to all things. So just by putting intentions into my water, I realised that I am connected to it, and 90% of my cells are water and connected to this water that I am consuming in my body, that I am connecting with. And one thing that I notice is that my kettle hasn't got any lime scale in it whatsoever. It is completely clean, that has never been the case throughout of all of my years of existence. There's always been some kind of calcification at the bottom of a kettle. So really interesting how blessing my water for the last 2 or 3 years, my kettle hasn't broken down. It doesn't need any decalcification. So when you think about it, my body is potentially also decalcified as I put the blessings into the water and into myself. So calcification, I've noticed as a health practitioner, sometimes can stiffen joints up, stiffen the body up. So calcifications, kidney stones, gallstones, things like that. And they get everywhere, believe me. Sinuses, eyes, they get everywhere. So sometimes too much calcification in the body can lead to stiffness, stiff body, stiff mind, hard to make changes. So just for one simple practice daily on the water that I drink can have an impact on my health throughout my life now. And it's the same with people in our lives as well. It's kind of all cords that we have attached to people which are being removed now because of we are the gates of closing into ascension. So all cords will be detached, all contracts will be rewritten, so to speak, with our dearest and nearest and loved ones. So again, it's kind of having gratitude for those connections to the people and loved ones in our lives. Having a gratitude for all abundance I have, for the house I live in, for the work that I do, for my clients that come, from the people I see on a daily basis, for my kids, for my family, even for my grumpy parents, and to recognise that they are markers for where I have been, and this is how far that I have travelled. So that was just one introspection that I had from that little lesson of reactivity to what I was reading in the news yesterday. So now I've learned basically to just be more aware of how I'm feeling when I am reading some of these news feeds, and to read them with a higher lens, a higher perspective lens rather than a lower perspective lens. And if you do have a reactivity time as I did, then it's kind of like, don't beat yourself up. Recognise it, realise it, have a little bit of introspection, which is pure love for yourself, and go with it. It's absolutely okay. It's still all love in creation. So the second reactivity, we'd been away for a lovely couple of days, so I'm feeling all great and really buzzing. However, the last day of being away, a beautiful friend of mine decided to get the V. I've noticed when I am with people who have just received it that I am very in tune with my body, and if it's anything that is disrupting my energetic field anywhere in my chakras, organs, glands, I pick it up straight away, that something's wrong and I feel it. Or not that something's wrong, but it's giving me a message. There's nothing wrong, it's just giving me a message. And I've noticed that every time my thyroid is out, my hormonal system is out, and I just feel really tired, really sluggish. I feel a little bit, not weak, but less energetic, less effervescent, less likely to speak my truth, less likely to feel safe in my own power. And this is how I feel. But recognising that energy, I can then change it because I am a creative being. I use my intentions. So I balance my thyroid again. I release all elements from organs that are not serving me. And I recharge my solar plex just by simply having a good rest. So that is the way that I deal with it. We're all different. Other people may deal with it differently, but that's the way I deal with it. Today again, feeling absolutely fine and okay and great again. So reactivity. So another reactivity as a parent was, while I was away, I also got a letter from the home education authorities. Now, we decided as a family, and the children decided with us as well, and it was basically, they asked, it was originally the idea, and I must admit, of de-schooling. So at first I just laughed and said, seriously, me, teacher from home, are you crazy, kids? You know, it's going to be 2 days tops and you're going to be screaming to get back to school. Not the case. For me personally, best decision I ever made for my children. So anywho, I got this letter from the authorities that basically I had not corresponded with them on the last 2 occasions on providing the evidence that I'm providing an education for my children. Well, I kind of like went into clucking mother mode, really angry, because on both occasions I'd responded, firstly by letter, the secondly by email. So I thought, right. And then also part of the letter from a low vibrational lens sounded really threatening. Like, if you don't respond to us within 4 weeks, then you'll get a visit on your doorstep or you'll get a phone call. And at first it's kind of like I felt like I'd done something wrong as a parent. I felt unworthy as a parent. I felt I wasn't being a good enough mother to my children. In that instance, I was reactive, all bent out of shape and really angry. So then I put the letter down, stuck it on my desk, and had to think about it and a little bit of introspection about this letter and about how I was reacting to this letter of authority. So I took a deep breath, tried to find the photograph of the letter that I had sent previously with all the evidence of learnings we'd done, and tried to find the email again that I compiled of all the learnings we'd done. I can't find either. I know that they are there because I know that I have done them, because I remember doing them, but they are not there. And it's funny how the universe works in really interesting ways to give us lessons. So I'm thinking, right, universe, what's the lesson in this? What can I learn from this? And basically my reactivity was a fear. You know, it's kind of like, oh, somebody's going to turn up on my doorstep and call me a bad mother. Somebody's going to call me and call me a bad mother. And it's kind of like, take a deep breath, think about it from a love path perspective. Okay, this person in authority is just trying to do their job. They're trying to do the right thing from their perspective on what they are trying to do. So what if somebody turns up on your doorstep? So what if somebody gives you a phone call? Welcome it, because it gives you a chance of connectivity on a one-to-one human aspect with this person in authority. And then you will find, that this person ain't scary in this authority. They are just like you. They are a person just doing a job. So I can't find the letter that I saved, can't find the email, so I haven't got them to resend. And maybe this is a good thing. Maybe I do need to connect on a personal level with this person of authority to actually put my fear aside, to honour it and walk with it and say, okay, yeah, I felt that, that's fine, it's good. Nothing wrong with it, I'm not judging it, but I'm going to connect with this person, and yeah, I'm not going to virtue signal and show them, oh, we've done this and we've done that, and again, it was kind of like another lesson for me of the programs of virtue signaling and how I react to them without even being conscious of them. And my virtual signal is, yes, I'm a good mum, yes, please don't challenge me, I'm a good person, don't punish me, don't ridicule me, don't isolate me. Because that is my experience of past experiences with authority. This experience, I'm going to be the creator with love, and this experience is going to be different. I'm going to connect with this person on a one-to-one level, on a personal level, not through a letter, not through an email. I am welcoming the doorstep meeting. I am welcoming the personal phone call. And and I don't have to, oh yeah, we've done this with it. That basically even a child learning through play or through travel is still a child learning. And I have realised in this year and a half of home learning that the children are learning in their own way. And at first I was worried, am I doing the right thing? We started off with the traditional and everything else. And they hated it, really loved it and hated it. So I let them get bored, which was beautiful advice from my beautiful friend who is an A-level English teacher. Thank you, best advice anyone has ever given me. Let them get bored. So I did. So in the boredom, my son found interior design course on Skillshare that he really loved. So what, he didn't get a qualification at the end of it or a grade or whatever, but you know what, he still learned those skills that are intrinsically within him that he can use in any given moment should he want to recall them. So what, he hasn't got a piece of paper or a certificate saying he's completed this course, which is, when you think it is a little bit of an egoic system anyway. As long as you've got the nutrition and as long as you have got the learning and as long as you've submerged yourself in that learning, it will never leave you. But information that is given to you so fast that you just then have to regurgitate is not immersive learning for me. And this is kind of like what I have learned over the last year and a half. So I have learned not to judge myself as a mom by this letter coming in from the authorities, that basically what other mums may do may not be right for me, and it may not be right for my family and our ethos and values. And I am also learning to be conscious of where I am virtue signaling. So virtue signaling is when we do things to please other people that we simply really don't want to do. So yesterday I sat there for about 4 hours trying to compile a letter, basically explaining why I had not contacted, that I had contacted him, but the communication's been lost, and putting all evidence of learnings and everything else in. And it's kind of like, I thought, why did I waste 4 hours of time of virtue signalling yesterday? And sure enough, by that evening, I started to feel it in my feet, started to feel a little bit of stiffness in my joints. And my body was telling me, when you are virtue signalling. So you are trying to walk forward in an energy that isn't really intrinsic to you. That's what my body was saying. It was trying to give me the truth. So all of our experiences right now are all teachings and learnings, whether you are being reactive, whether you whatever is coming up for you, honour it, but be aware of it, consider it, be considerate to yourself, be kind to yourself, and say, okay, yeah, I did that. Yeah, I was reactive. Yeah, I was in a low vibrational energy or emotion for a while there. But you know what? I'm aware of it now. Now I'm creator. I'm choosing in this now moment. So every now moment is an opportunity to be creator. So the last now moment, it's done. Don't worry about it. Forget it. This now moment is the important one. This is one where the awareness comes in and you choose to be the creator and where you want to create from. Fear or love, 2 choices. Keep it simple. So just wanted to talk about and ramble on about my experiences of yesterday. Low and high vibrational, all of it created in love. Stop beating yourself up. Really hard when you've got kids and dependents to kind of like to walk the path solely of love, equanimity, peace and joy. But in the next now moment, create those for yourselves. We all have opportunities, and an opportunity can never be missed because you are creator. So I'll leave my love with you. Enjoy those lessons out there that we are learning, no matter how harsh they may seem. Any of us that I had a beautiful client in, and it's just a note on anyone that may be falling, and you know, the relative always takes a picture of a person that has fallen and they look bruised, battered, beaten up. Basically, if this happens, this is a reflection as to what is going on in the inner world of a being. So you're beating yourself up. So if you've had a fall and you're feeling bruised and battered on the outside, it's telling you that this is what you are doing on the inside. You are beating yourself up. So it's just for any of us out there that are having these moments of doubts, of beating ourselves up, it's just to say, go easy on yourself. Forgiveness, forgive yourself. It's all okay. All of this lessons that we receive, all of these learnings, all of the years of experiences are still creations of love. They're just different aspects of it. So go easy on yourself. Right, I'll leave that with you. Love you all. Take care. See you in the next one. Love you all. Bye, and thank you for your time.